Hi, my name is T and welcome to Looking at Literature, a new idea I've had for a series where I want to talk about different books and themes of literature. This will mainly be for revision purposes for me, and I hope that it gives you the opportunity to revise a little bit too. In this series, I will be writing my scripts as sort of informal essays, looking at a variety of themes in books I'm studying for my Victorian literature exam next month, and hopefully it'll go on from there to expand as my learning expands over the next year. However, if I remember to keep up with it down the line, it's likely that there'll be much less formal ideas where I'll just talk about books I've enjoyed reading in my spare time. Anyway, today I'm looking at R.D Blackmore's The Way We Live Now, and one of the most prevalent themes within the novel, which is the theme of money and commerce. There will be spoilers about the novel, so if you plan on reading it, be aware. So the novel opens directly with Lady Carberry and her literary exploits. Immediately, we are entered into a world of industry where people are cheated for the highest price. Lady Carberry is only the first example of a corrupt society, as she cares more about how much her books will earn, as opposed to whether they're actually any good or not. To cement this point, instead of focusing on how good her books can actually be by putting in the effort, she spends her time in visiting and writing to influential critics and editors who can earn her more money by having her works praised in their various magazines. Instead of even having them read her work, she writes to them imploring them to write good reviews of her, so that she can sell more copies. She puts her effort that she should be putting into creating legitimately good works into making connections and pleasing those around her who have the ability to increase her income. Anyway, despite this immediate introduction to Lady Carberry, she is not the focal point of the novel, and her son, Felix, and his relations with the infamous Mr. Melmotte are actually more important to the plot. Through his venture of the Great American Railway, a project which doesn't technically exist, Mr. Melmotte is creating money out of nothing, and Felix joins in with this along with many other young men. What is interesting is the reason why Melmotte even chooses Felix for his board of directors in the first place. Felix has a reputation for being careless with money, as he spends all of his time at clubs gambling with his friends. Our insight into his character only strengthens our dislike for him, as the narrator tells us of his ulterior motives to win the hand, and therefore the fortune, of Melmotte's daughter Marie. Whilst Marie genuinely loves Felix, he is incapable of such feelings, and is simply acting for the purposes of securing a fortune which nobody is sure actually even exists. The role of marriage within this novel is simply a financial transaction, and satirises the Victorian marriage market. Blackmore is suggesting that love does not exist, or just doesn't matter, and instead it is money which determines human relationships. In fact, if you look at the majority of any kind of relationship in the novel, they revolve around money. Felix is constantly requesting money from his mother, he is trying to marry Marie for her fortune, and only knows Melmotte at all because he is on the board of directors for a company which might not even profit anything, but holds potential promise of financial gain. This actually brings me on to Melmotte. Throughout the novel, Melmotte is constantly surrounded by rumours of his legitimacy and of his supposed fortune. Nobody knows the true extent of his fortune, and this opens up the question, where did he acquire it? Melmotte doesn't have a lordship or a title of any kind and comes from an unknown foreign country. He appears very suddenly on the London scene and is immediately the talk of the town. Plenty of the aristocrats of London society want to be seen at his house at the beginning of the novel, due to his reputation of having a very large wealth. But soon the rumours start, and Melmotte becomes an emblem of shame and questionability. Throughout even just the first half of the novel, he is constantly referred to as a swindler, and people appear to know that his fortune was acquired in a way that was less than legitimate. But he still remains a powerful figure simply due to the fact that he has a lot of money. This is where Blackmore is emphasising his social commentary on Victorian London, and his disgust at the way it functions as a society. The idea that money can buy anything. The question of title versus money becomes very important in this text, and the argument about which is more important becomes the central factor. Melmotte has no title but potentially has a lot of money, whereas Felix has a title but no money. However, Felix is better off in this society because people can trust in his title. As Sir Carberry, he is more trustworthy as he has a legitimate claim as a family heir and a history. Nobody knows who Melmotte really is or where he came from. so why would they trust in him? This is where his fortune begins to be questioned, and he knows that if he wants to regain his popular position and trust in society, he needs a title. Unfortunately, it is his quest for a title which drives him to his madness and eventually reveals all. Another example of the importance of titles is Felix's cousin, Roger Carberry. Roger is the actual head of the family, as he owns the estate and most of the money. However, he is Blackmore's embodiment of the past ideals. He lives in a past rural world and is the largest unsuccessful character of the novel. The woman he loves does not love him in return, he is practically estranged from his family and friends, and he lives alone. He despises the way they live and their urban ideals. He instead idealizes the time before the Industrial Revolution as a time of peace and prosperity in its own right. Commerce and money are vastly important factors in the way we live now, as the novel serves as a social commentary from Blackmore on the disgusting habits of Victorian England. The Industrial Revolution was brilliant in expanding industries and forwarding the world, and we owe a lot to the Victorian era as one of competition and modernity. However, with this expansion, it brought about a lot of corruption, with more and more business ventures becoming popular. It wasn't long before financial disputes became commonplace and new money became questionable. Blackmore may be ironic in reporting these problems, especially in the case of Lady Carberry, when he himself is a part of that industry as a writer, but as a whole, the novel is packed full of anger at the social scene of his time. There are many other elements that Blackmore highlights as well as money and commerce, but those are for another video. Thank you for watching, leave a like if you were enlightened in any way, and subscribe so you don't miss any other videos. I will see you real soon. Cheerio!